Hello everybody, my name is Grace and this will be my review for the Gran Turismo movie. So I just watched Gran Turismo and with Gran Turismo we found ourselves in the middle of a video game slash biopic, probably the first of its kind, where we tell a real life story about a gamer who went from playing Gran Turismo in his living room to the driving real race cars and becoming an actual professional driver. And that's an insane story to tell. And there will be no spoilers here. Now, the movie is based off real life events. If you didn't know the full story here, I recommend not to check it out after you go and see the movie, because there are some things in this movie that really surprised me, man. They really, I was not expecting, probably because I didn't know the actual story in all details. So I think that helps for a better experience. Now, but before getting into that, Gran Turismo is a game. Now, it was actually never a PlayStation game I love. I was honestly surprised when I look into it and find out that the game is like the most popular racing game out there, mainly because it's a simulator and it tries to be as realistic as possible to what real race car driving is. But little old me was always more interested in games like Burnout, driving, taking down cars, explosions, that sort of a thing. And that game was fun. Now, so suffice to say that I didn't have like a ton of interest in this movie. Now, the only thing that actually interests me about Gran Turismo was the director, Neil Blomkamp. This man have been wanting to get back up into his high strides, because ever since District 9 I feel like this man does have a vision. He's capable of directing some really awesome sci-fi work. But as his directing career went off, it just ever seems like he found that stride again, like he lost a little bit of that. And with Gran Turismo, I gotta say, pretty nice little movie here. Now, jumping into the things I did like about the movie. Now, for one, like I say, I think it helped I knew nothing about the real life story. But man, was this such a unique way for PlayStation Studios to adapt the game, because it being like a racing simulator, and it's like you got two in one. You got a biopic and you got a video game adaptation. Director Neil Blomkamp pulls off the racing scenes here really well. They are suspenseful and they got me on the edge of my seat. I was so invested in this movie, and the heart-pounding, thrilling, I won't say to the level of like a Top Gun Maverick and those aviation scenes, but somewhere a little bit close to that. That why I would put a Gran Turismo. I was around the same wavelengths. Now going like, oh man, I hope they win this race and they throw in a little video games a scene in there, and they have little graphic that pop up going like 12 plays, 4 plays, 3 laps, 2 laps left, this much time. So yeah, everything pertaining to like the race car scenes. I feel like this movie actually nailed it. Now, Archie McQueen, I believe that is how you pronounce his names. I'm sorry if I didn't pronounce that, but I saw it in a couple of interviews, so I think it's McQueen who plays Game Marlboro in the movie, and I thought he had a lot of heart. He was a fun character to root for just down on his luck, a kid looking for a break, and when he gets one, you like following his journey. Orlando Bloom also managed to make a cartoon executives still seem semi-human at least, right? Also, his jacket, his jacket was awesome. I love his jacket. I want that jacket, Orlando Bloom. um but David Harbour here, man, this guy just rose in any role he's in. Him being this kind of a hell ass teacher that is almost annoying, that he has to train a bunch of gamers to actually get into cars, and all of that is put off so well, and the relationship he builds up, this mental role for Mabara, and it really go to like this relationship throughout the movie, and a way it builds when the stakes of the film get higher, because that's another thing that I didn't think too much about going into the seeing this movie, as they literally thought it was a good idea to take people who were playing in the living rooms and then put them inside a car. They like literally is traveling at such high speeds, a crash, you make a wrong move and you're done. And I feel the movie does an excellent job of showing you how like crazy and dumb this experiment was, and it's almost unbelievable that it was a real thing. And bringing me to why I was saying that if you didn't know the real story, don't look it up before you see this movie, because there is like a jaw-dropping moment in here that I was not expecting to be part of this movie at all, and I think that really elevate the movie to another level for me. And because for a good chunk of Gran Turismo, it plays like such a predictable underdog story, and it's cliche lines of you really think you're gonna make money off playing a video game, or lines like you die out here, kid, and you're dumb. You can't just do that. Then obviously overcoming that stuff and placing really well inside races. It's like you could see exactly where this movie was going, even though it was like a true story. It's like, man, this feel like it was written like every other sport movie out there, and about the guy who is going to prove everybody wrong. But that real life aspect that came into play about something like it was hell freaking dark, and I did not see it coming. I was like, did that actually happen? That actually happened? What? But it generally had me stunned, and after the movie was over, I had to go and do all the Google's research to be like, did that actually really happen? And why was it okay? But aside from that thing, it just had me stunned while watching the movie. I feel like it was a pretty good time. It's nothing mind-blowing, but I feel it's like a good enough time. It's an interesting story to dive into. A lot of the writing and story beats feel like predictable, and I feel like they underdeveloped this father-son relationship in the movie. Jimon Handsome is such a fantastic actor, plays the father in here, and he's obviously thinking his son is wasting his life by playing this video game, and feels like he's gonna be part of it, of the story, and then his character just like disappears or of the middle of the movie, and then came back towards the end for like a heartwarming sentimental moment. And I really hope he was a bigger part of the story here, because he's really talented and such a big known actor here. And Jerry Hollywood, she plays the mother of my brothers here, and she was great here. I really appreciate her scenes here. Now, and it felt like it could have been a lot more impactful if they didn't just have the character of Jimon Hansu, who plays the father, like disappear for us off screen for so long. But I think it feels like a big movie theatrically. I think mostly because of the races. The race sequences are done very well. I mean, watching those sequences on a big screen with the sound, it was so great to enjoy. So I think that if you're going to see this movie, go and watch it in a theater. I think that is the most impactful, entertaining experience watching it, because of the racing sequences. I think they are very great, and like I said, it's a very good movie. It's nothing really new or mind-blowing, like I said before, but it has the story is interesting, and of course you have like things that are small but refreshing enough, because it's like biopic slash video game adaptation. So I think that helps for this movie. And the racing sequences are great. Mainly the three characters, the three actors are Archie McQueen. He's fantastic here. David Harbour is excellent, and Orlando Bloom, he's a great addition to this car. He was delightful. I really like his character here. And also, like I said, that I will not spoil it, but that impactful moment of that happens in the movie, it was really surprised me, and I think that really elevates the movie of just being like a weird typical sport movie. It still has those elements of your like typical Hollywood sport movie, but it has small things that are refreshing, and that thing that I mentioned, and it just really like elevates the movie above that. So I think it's a really good movie. So if you're looking for something new to watch, go watch it in the theater. If not, you can wait also for digital to rent the bell. I'll say that because of the racing sequences that done so well, and it feels big, and because watching it on a big screen with the sound I felt like it put me on the driver's seat, and so I was feeling very invested for that. So I think for that, I recommend that you go see it in the theater. And actually, this is great. A lot of video game adaptations, although some of them have been like really phenomenal, but I think recently I've been pretty good or really solid game adaptation, especially for PlayStation recently. That's fantastic, man. I really hope we can continue this trend. So that's my review for Gran Turismo. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, consider subscribe to the channel. Bye bye.